Welcome everyone to session 7 of our assessment course. I don't want you to get too used to it, not having a discussion board, so I'm hoping to get you right back into it. Although it's not going to be a full-fledged discussion board, it's just going to be a place where you're going to upload your test. Just a reminder before we start here that I have created an EdSE 640 Facebook page where you can get a lot of good stuff, good information. I'm uploading things here. Some other people are commenting as well. And best of all, you can get my latest blog post, which this week it's about the pedagogy of poverty, which I think you'll find interesting. So anyway, part 1. There will be more parts to come. So that's just a reminder. You know, you can go in, you can become a member, you can like it. That way you'll get updates of it. You can see that 11 people have liked it, and I'm teaching over 40 students. So please, you're hurting my feelings. All right, enough of that. No housekeeping this week. Usually I do housekeeping because of the responses I get on the discussion boards. Nothing to report on the discussion board this week. Remember, there is we're going to be talking about absence of bias this week. So I want to mention that. There's, let me go into the course file, and you will see that there is going to be a quiz on absence of bias. That's a true-false quiz. So what I would do is I would go into session 7 course materials, and as always I have a hard copy and handouts of the quiz, and you'll see it right there. So my recommendation is to download the hard copy, take the quiz on the hard copy, and the ones that you find difficult or you're not sure of the answers, then go into the discussion board and discuss it, because you can't discuss it after you take the test, because you'll know you can't change your answers. You only get to take this once because it's a true-false quest. So you'll see there's an absence of bias this quiz discussion board there. Go in and discuss the ones you have trouble with. There's also one question on here that that you may find you may be concerned about why you got it wrong. If you find a question like that, after you take and get your results, if you see a question that you got wrong and you think you don't understand why, email me. And if you have some kind of justification for why you answered it the way you did, I will give you credit even if you got it wrong. All right. So this week you're going to be uploading your first draft. So let's go into session folders, session 7, and in the assignments you'll see that there is I've given you this 2 chapters of this textbook from Chapaway et al., Chapaway, Stiggins, Arter, and Chapaway, which will give you a lot of direction on how to create the select the response test. I received an email from someone saying, what do we do the select the response test on? And I believe I mentioned it last week, but if you go into session 7 course materials, you'll see everything you need is there, and I want to explain everything that's there. The first thing you should do, let me go back. The first thing you should do is to go in let me go back again. Go into this week's presentation, and there you will find a video that I have made where I outline everything you need to know about creating the SR test. I talk about creating hanging indents. creating matching, two-column matching. So you really need to make sure you watch that because that gives you pretty much, technically wise, everything you need to know to create the selected response test. So make sure you watch that. I'll have this week's introductory video right here as well as on the announcement page. So the first part of your task is to create 4 to 5 learning targets based on the EdTPA. So that's what you're going to be doing this selected response on. So let's go into course materials and handouts. You'll see that I have the EdTPA special education right there. There's the hard copy for your quiz, and this is the EdTPA. So you got to download that. You can right click on it, save it, save link as, and save it into your, hopefully you have an EdSE 640 file somewhere. So save it there, and then you can use it to create your test, or first of all to create your learning targets. So I also have, there's the 2 chapters again there. This is a little guidebook that you can download, a short guide to writing effective test questions. Here are 5 exemplars, and they're not perfect. So I'm going to talk about the first part of it right now, and I also mention it in my video. But the first thing you should do is to create learning targets. Now, this is exemplar number 3, and and you can see here, there are 4 learning targets right at the beginning of the test. Now, that's what everyone should do. That's part of the rubric, is that you have to create 4 to 5 learning targets, and the one learning target should be vocabulary. So that vocabulary target should read, students, colleagues, classmates will accurately define X number of EdTPA critical vocabulary words. So that's specific and it's measurable. You'll notice in this one that these learning targets, for the most part, are not specific and are not measurable. The first one says colleagues will know what they need to do to plan for the learning segment of the EdTPA. What does that mean? Colleagues will know what they need to do. So a better example would be classmates will be able to accurately list X number of tasks required to complete task number 1. So that's specific and measurable. X number, say 4 number of tasks. I'm not sure how many there are. And you can measure that. You can create questions that will assess that. So this question is, all of these are very vague and not specific and hard to assess. So the better your objectives are, the more specific and measurable they are, the easier they are to assess. So what I've also given you in course materials are verbs for writing learning targets. So all your objectives should create these verbs, and here they are. You can see they're categorized by Bloom's taxonomy, and also by different subject matter, phys ed, art, music, simple tasks. But you can see these are action verbs: match, initiate, label, define, order, collect, complete. So your objective should have an action verb in there because these are measurable. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that if you're using higher level Bloom's taxonomy, like compare and contrast, you can compare and contrast in a select response test, but it's not easy. You have to create, say, a matching question that says, say whether the learning and the planning and the assessment tasks, how are they similar and how are they different? And you can have on the other side similar, different, neither, which I did for one of my matching questions. So if you're going to have a higher order thinking task like analyze, you have to make sure you're going to be able to assess that analyze with a selected response test. All right, so I've also placed the rubric in course materials. It's right here. It's got learning targets, organization, item quality, formatting, and mechanics. All right, mechanics is just you either get a 4 or you get a 1. You have to have at least 20 questions, 6 of which have to be matching. So you're either going to have 3 and 3 or 6 matching. So you can have 3 matching and 3 matching later on, or you have to have, or you can have all 6. I like to use matching for vocabulary because usually your vocabulary is similar, and matching is good for using similar terms and comparing, getting different that have different definitions. Okay, it has to be organized. You'll notice that in this here, this person organizes them. See, EdTPA task number 1. So they organized it by task. But the most important thing is that you need to be able to go in and see learning target 1. So, my recommendation would be organize it by learning target. So you can just say section 1 is learning target 1, and you can say, okay, this person mastered this. There were 6 questions, they got all 6 right. So that is key to creating this selected response test, is that you have to be able to look at the results and tell me which target they mastered, which target they didn't. Right? So that's a key. So it has to be organized. And I talk about item quality. I'm just using these 4. The wording has to be simple. A question has to be asked. Correct answer is not obvious. And critical words are emphasized. So I talk about that in my video. Words like not, both, either, neither. Those keywords you either have to capitalize, boldface, underline, or do all 3. Okay, and formatting. A lot of you will struggle with this because you're not real adept at using Word or Pages or whatever document program you use. But these are 3 criteria I look for. Question and answers are aligned by hanging indents. Hanging indents are a necessity. You can see right here, these are hanging indents. You can see that. How the number is in the margins and the questions are all lined up. Makes it much easier to read. So your questions and answers should have hanging indents. Spelling and grammar, naturally, you have to have spelling and grammar correct. And in the matching questions, they have to be aligned in a 2-column format. I don't want it matching, the questions here and the choices underneath. It has to be matching side by side. Okay, so those are the mechanics of the test. You're going to have a couple opportunities to do it. You're going to do a first draft. You're going to get feedback from your classmates. Then you're going to upload that to the. You're going to upload that to the second discussion board. That's when I will give you feedback, and then you'll be able to upload your final copy, your final draft, in a succeeding assignment, week 9 or week 10, and then I will grade it. So that's the assignment for this week. So you will upload, let me go to the discussion board. I will have both discussion boards open for you. This is the first one where I have your groups. This is the second one where you will upload your copy. You'll see that I have all 4 groups here. So you click on your group, group 1. You can see I have the list of those of you that are in a group. And then you will hit reply and upload your answers with your feedback for your group members. Okay. That's it. So good luck to you. You will remember, there's help is on the way where you can get help from each other. I also look at that as well. And every a couple times a week I'll go in there and answer your questions. So that's it. Good luck, and I will see you in a week.